My name is Oliver Queen. For 5 years, I was stranded on an island with only one goal: survive.
Oliver Queen is alive.
Now I will fulfill my father's dying wish to use the list of names he left me and bring down those who are poisoning my soul. To do this, I must become someone else. I must become something else.
Okay, so the episode revolved around Barry basically talking to Felicity and telling her different things of what actually happened, and that he actually travelled back in time and he saved his mum, and how he basically was living in a paradox world for 3 months and he was happy, you know. He said, but things started to go wrong when he started to like lose his memories and stuff. So he gets to see Jay Garrett as well, and Jay Garrett basically pulls him out the Speed Force as he's running back once again to try and put back what once was, then now. And it's not actually going to happen the way that he wants. So he was running through the Speed Force, and Jay Garrett basically pulls him out, and he throws his clothes at him, and he basically says to him, you know what, me and you need to go and have a little conversation, and like we need to have this conversation now. So Barry was like, okay, cool. They end up in going to a diner back in the late 90s, I believe it was. You could see like little Dawson's Creek on the TV and stuff, which was pretty cool. And he sat down and he said to him, basically, I know everything. I know that your dad was my double ganger, and I know the trouble you've gone through and everything else. Harrison Wells has told me everything. He said, but look at this cup. He said, it looks nice at the moment, right? Then he started using the Speed Force, and the cup cracked. And he said, this is what you're doing. Every time you're going back in time and trying to put something right, this is what's happening. And you're basically messing up the timeline each time. So he got the piece of the cup which is broken, he put it back, and he goes, can you see that, yeah, you may be able to put it back together, but it's never going to look the same again. So with that, Barry kind of like realizes, you know what, he might have a point here, because every time I go back and try and change something else goes wrong. So he kind of realized that he can't actually go back in time and put anything right anymore, because every time he tries to attempt to do it, he fails miserably. So that there, he's had to put a complete and utter end to. So something to notice, that Barry's kissed Iris twice and forgot about it twice. So like he kissed her and he forgot about it, and he kissed her again and he once again forgot about it. So in this new timeline, we got to see that Iris and Joe ain't talking, and we get to find out the reason why Iris and Joe ain't talking is because Joe never told Iris about her mum. But something to note would be Wally, because Wally's actually there. Like, he's there, and Wally only came in at the end of last season, really. Like, so it's like, what's going on? And why is Wally there, and there's still this big, like, anguish between them? Ain't pretty cool, but like, they're not talking at the moment, and you know, Barry's one thing was that he wanted basically the timeline to go back to the timeline that he knew. So he was trying to go back and sort out all these problems, and he convinced Iris and Joe both to have dinner in the same place at the same time. He was trying to say it was one's idea, and he was, to the other one he was saying it's the other person's idea, but it worked because it got them in the same room together at the same time. And that was his goal. He was going around doing the same thing with him and Cisco as well, because there was a problem between him and Cisco. Obviously, Cisco's brother Dante died, and Cisco asked Barry to basically go back in time and basically save his brother from being hit by this drunk driver. And Barry basically said he can't do that. He can't go back in time. He can't he can't tamper with it and anything else. So that kind of puts Cisco and him like in these like not talking category. Cisco don't appreciate that Barry just didn't want to help him with his problem. So, you know, they had to work, he had to work on that. So his main thing was, I want to get all of the people who ain't talking together in the same room, so everybody can air out their differences and grievances, and we can all try and get past this, because he wants his original team back together, which would be great. Okay, so just talking about Cisco, yeah, right? Cisco, did you see him? Did you see those vibe powers that he had, yeah? Like, when it came to, like, Barry taking on the rival who got his memories back from the previous timeline, but he never had his speed. So Alchemy gives him his speed, but as he's fighting the rival and Alchemy at the same time, you know, like, Barry's there, and suddenly, like, the rival's just about to, like, close in on Barry, and next thing you see is Cisco with his vibe powers going whoop, and basically you see the vibes come out and you see the rival go flying, and then Barry just takes bang, 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 puts the rival in his place, and he ends up getting put into a cell. So that was really, really cool. Like, I really did enjoy seeing Cisco's, like, new vibe powers, and I'm hoping you get to see a lot more with Cisco being vibe, because, like, it's a cool character. He's got some cool abilities, and, like, he can really make a difference to Team Flash. So I'm hoping that he gets Cisco in action as vibe out in the fields of Team Flash. So that's going to be really awesome to see. We see, like, a few, like, different things happening. So we get to see that the old captain is actually back as well. So he's not dead. We got to see quite a few of these husks, or basically skins, around the Central City, where basically Alchemy is bringing back all the speedsters, like, not all the speedsters, all the people who had metahuman powers in the other timeline. He's actually giving them all again. So all these skins that you're seeing around Central City are basically all these people with metahuman powers that basically Alchemy is bringing back. So it's going to be interesting to see, because they did say they found at least 7 to 8. So we know that there's 7 to 8 people, including the rival, who has been brought back. So it's going to be interesting to see who else they've brought back. We get to see that Barry's got a new lab partner as well, in the form of one of the guys from Harry Potter, Malfoy Draco, I think. I don't know. I'm not really a big Harry Potter fan, to be fair with you guys. So you're also going to slam me for that one. But hey ho, like, he's now in it. His name is Julian Albert, and he's basically going to be, it looks like he's going to be a thorn in Barry's side throughout the whole of this season. You know, you can really tell that both guys don't like each other, because, you know, Barry's hiding something, and, you know, Julian's like, I know you're hiding something, and, you know, I'm going to find out what it is. You know, Barry made a couple of slip-ups in this episode where he actually give the guy's name of who the other guy was investigating, and he was like, I'll never give it to you, but how did you know his name? And it was all that kind of stuff. So I reckon that he's going to be a really big thorn in his side come this season. We also got to see, just at the very end, we got to see Caitlin turn into Killer, well, not turn into Killer Frost, but you see that she had her powers manifest. Now, we know that Caitlin on Earth 2 was Killer Frost. So are they basically taking everybody who had powers, like, on Earth 2, and they're going to give them to everyone here, kind of thing? I don't quite get it. But we do know that episode 7 is entitled Killer Frost, so we're going to get to know a lot more about Caitlin and her abilities and everything else. And are they going to have her as a full-on Killer Frost? Are they going to have it so she can just bring these powers out whenever she needs them, kind of thing? Like, what's it going to be? I'm hoping it's going to be, like, really, really cool, you know. Killer Frost, she looks amazing as it is, so it's going to be really good to see. But how are they going to have her, like, have her powers? Is she going to have them constantly? Is she going to be able to, like, turn them on, turn them off, kind of thing? That's yet to be decided. But I'm excited about it. Flash was okay this week. Next week we've got Jessie Quick, and she's coming back with her powers. It's going to be kind of like a training episode, where basically Barry's going to be training Jessie in all the Speed Force abilities that she's actually going to have. So next week should be a really good episode. I'm really hyped for that. But My next one is now going to be Arrow, guys. So let's get into it. Okie dokie. So this episode of the Arrow was entitled Recruit. So basically that's what it was really focused around. We had a couple of things. So we had Dougal. Obviously he's been put out with the army, and the first thing you get to see, he kind of talks down this old soldier. He's a bit scared and everything, and Dougal basically says to him, sometimes you need that fear in your life to get you over that hurdle kind of thing. So that was nice. We also got to find out later on in the episode that Dougal actually is tricked into being in the wrong place at the wrong time. So now he's going to be accused of stealing this weapon, which these other soldier guys kind of stole, and they writ a hand confession from Dougal and they chained him down there. So like we still don't know exactly what's going to happen there, but we know that he was actually stabbed in the back. So is this why he comes back to Team Arrow? Because he wants to get some of his own justice, maybe? We got to see the introduction of our new characters this week as well, which was Wild Dog, Evelyn Sharp, and Mr. Terrific. And also we got introduced to Ragman as well. So that was really, really cool. We got to see the recruits, which were Mr. T, Evelyn Sharp and Wild Dog, and basically they were put through a test from Oliver. So when Oliver was in the Brakfar, they for initiation, they had to ring a bell. And the only way to get to that bell was to get past the Brakfar. So basically, Oliver done exactly the same thing as the Green Arrow. He was like, you know what? Your objective is to get from the line to the bell and ring it. That's all you got to do. You ain't got to do anything else. Like, all you got to do is just get from there to there, ring that bell, and it's done. So you get to see the recruits trying it over and over again, and you get to see basically the Green Arrow kicking their ass at every opportunity he gets. So none of them ring the bell because he's kicking all their asses. But the trick to it was actually they should have worked together as a team. When they were doing the flashbacks to Russia, it wasn't quite like that. Like, if they worked together as a team, the person who rang the bell is the winner. The rest of them who didn't ring the bell ends up in dying. So, like, Oliver kind of changed it. And it was like he wanted them to work as a team to get past him to ring the bell. Yeah, he weren't looking to kill none of them, but that was the objective of the game. The objective was to work as a team to get past. And they didn't quite grasp that. We got to see our first look at Ragman, guys, which was pretty amazing. Like, we got to find out that he was wrapped in these rags when if anybody remembers, I think it was last season when Felicity sent the nuke to Bloodhaven. Not Bloodhaven. It might have been Bloodhaven, but to one of the places where she nuked. She basically nuked it, and he was covered in these rags, and these are old rags which were like sent down from time, and like they've got these magical possessional powers to them. And his dad wrapped him up in it, and they saved his life. So he basically goes around doing all the good and justice, and people what are doing really bad things, he kind of like puts a stop to it. So that's what he was basically doing throughout this whole episode. When you finally got him and Ollie, he saved Ollie's life, and Tobias Church was just about to kill the Green Arrow, and he ends up Ragman ends up in saving Green Arrow, and they had this conversation, and they basically find out that both their dads saved them in different ways, and they want to honour their dad's memories, and they should now do it in the right way. And Oliver finally admits to needing a team, and he says to him, you know what, why don't you join my team kind of thing, which Ragman said, you know what, why not? So now you've got that join up between Ragman, and you've also got the join up between Oliver Queen and obviously the new recruits as well. So you've got Mr. Terrific, you've got Evelyn Sharp, and you've also got Wild Dog. So at the moment you don't know who Evelyn is going to be. I do. But Evelyn's a character. She's going to be Artemis. So Evelyn Sharp is going to be Artemis. You've got Wild Dog and you've got Mr. Terrific. So these are all going to be the characters that Green Arrow trains and makes sure basically going in the right direction. Because like he said, he had Thea, he had Laurel, he had Spartan, and like they were all trained, but they weren't trained good enough, because look what happened to Laurel. She ends up in dying. So if you need confirmation of why you need this training, just go walk to the end of the pier and take a look at the statue of the Black Canary. So that was a little bit of motivation for them as well, which was pretty cool. We also got to see at the very end Prometheus once again. Prometheus takes down Tobias Church and says to him, in no other way terms you can think about it, you kill the Green Arrow and then I'm going to kill you. So he basically says to him, if you nearly killed the Green Arrow last night and that did not make me happy one little bit. If you kill the Green Arrow, I'm going to kill you. And I'm going to kill everyone associated to you. So Tobias Church has now got a new little rival at hand, because when Tobias Church asked him, who the hell are you? He turns around and says, I'm Prometheus. So we got the first official name drop of Prometheus, which was at the end when he took on Tobias Church. There wasn't really any taking on Tobias Church. Tobias Church got his ass handed to him quite clearly. But that was it. It was a good episode. It weren't great. It was alright. It's definitely better. The flashbacks are definitely better from this season than they were in season 4. So I'm impressed with that. There's no magical rubbish crap there neither at the moment, which is pretty cool. Obviously you got Ragman, but obviously Ragman has his own ability, so that's his ability, which is cool. Obviously we've got our new big bads. We've got Prometheus, and we've also got Tobias Church. One thing I didn't tell you is that the Green Arrow actually revealed himself to the recruits, and he it was one of those things to build back trust, because they all decided to go. He thought that there's only one way to make them stay, and he finally takes off his cowl and turns around and he says, I am the Green Arrow. And a lot of them looked very shocked by it, So that was his way of basically getting the team back on side and building that team which is gonna trust him. Because like Wild Dog said, I'm happy to go into battle with someone, but I'm only happy if I trust them. So it gave them that level footing again, which was really nice to see. Ollie's back on the side of the recruits, and the recruits are back on the side of Ollie. So let's see what they can do. Obviously, they're going to bring out Mr. Terrific, which is going to be amazing. I can't wait for his balls just to go boom everywhere and blow up, which is going to be pretty cool. Artemis, obviously, she's another archer. Looking to see what they do with her. Obviously, Speedy was the best, and she's still my best archer, female archer at the moment. So let's see what they can do with Artemis. And yeah, let's just hope the team goes in the right way. Let's hope Dougal gets himself out of trouble, and that, you don't actually die or get court-martialed, because at the moment they're pretty much looking to screw Dougal over. But as always, guys, the reason I done it like this week was because I haven't had enough time to every time I keep on reshooting, something always ends up happening, and at the moment I don't know what's going on with any of my technology. I think it's about time I just get more stuff. Like my cameras are fine, it's just my SD cards were playing around with me. My laptops decided to play around with me. So the reason I've done it like this week is because this is the quickest format I could actually do it in. But they will be going back to normal from next week. But as always, guys, I'm your host, Drew, aka The Green Arrow. Or if I missed anything on the Flash or the Arrow that you're interested in and want to talk about, stick it in the comment section down below. If you're new to the channel, smash that like button, guys. It's always going to help me out. If you're new to the channel and you want to know a little bit more about Marvel and DC programs, you can hit that. You can hit that subscribe button. You can stick a little comment. And yeah, I'll try and get back to you as fast as I can. But as always, guys, I'm your host, Drew, aka The Green Arrow. Straight shooting, people.